Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jasmine Haynes. I'm the Web and Social Media Specialist for the Mississippi Conference, and I've also served on the Communications Committee of the SEJ Audio. Happy to be with you today. I'm going to discuss a couple of things, how I communicate and through what media as far as disaster response is concerned, the communications process from them, what was successful in those communication processes, and what needs improvement. And Connie, I have my timer ready so that I don't go over my 10 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and start that now. So first, what I'd like to talk to you about as far as how I communicate through what media with disaster response, the channels of communication, and those would mostly be the website, social media, our texting system, Connect Text. Now we also have a biweekly, newsletter, so that's mostly used for storytelling. So not as much as real-time response. Okay, the website works twofold. It's a call to action for messages that go on the carousel, which is an effective way to showcase our featured content on the homepage. So when it's on the homepage, people don't have to dig around in and out through the website to find what they're actually looking for. They can go right there to the homepage, find the information, and get what they need. The second use of the website is under Connectional Ministries, and it's where Disaster Response has its own child page, and it has the most recently updated post as far as disaster is concerned, as well as the older ones from maybe the very beginning of the recovery effort. And I think that that page is really great for people to really see and understand our role as a conference in long-term recovery. You can see from beginning to end what was taking place, what's been done, and what still needs to be done. Social media is also a useful tool in getting the word out, lots of information out. It encourages donations to assist in disaster relief, and it's also a great way to connect with seekers of information in real time. So I use Facebook to give like information, context, and pictures. And then as far as Twitter, I put quick pieces of information on Twitter because that more catches the millennials and the Generation Xers. But if you look at disaster response overall on Twitter, whether that's local or church-wide, come or them, it grabs a lot of attention on Twitter and it gets a lot of great engagement. So it's great to see people engage on Twitter. And then lastly, Connect Text, as I said, with our Connect texting system, it's also a quick way to disseminate important information. And the great thing about that is you don't need a smartphone and you don't have to have Facebook or Twitter to be able to receive those messages. When I look at the communications process that we have from Ongoing, um, that started by identifying a communications person. So David was identified by my director very early on as my point person. And I knew that if he sent it, it was a primary source. He was serving as the conference voice for Zoom. And if I had any questions about any of the information, I knew he was the person that I should look to for answers. And I'm saying David Newton, specifically which David I'm referring to. I know there's two on the panel today. Um, so if I had to have a list of best practices, my first one would be to establish a relationship with credible sources, and more specifically, to identify a point person for your communication. So once he was established as my information officer, David and I worked together analyzing disaster response messaging on the website, and he identified any old information like people who no longer serve in certain capacities, new contact information, and then websites that would have really important information that could be useful to people looking for ways to help with their recovery. And after that, David would let me know that as disasters occur, the first thing they do is they have an initial assessment, and that while they're doing that, I can direct people where they can send donations, and I can ask them to wait before rushing to render aid and deliver supplies. So I guess my second best practice would be to provide messages on how the public can avoid risk or harm to those involved in disaster response, whether that be the people who are who you know suffered through, and also the people who are trying to aid. You also need to aid by not causing any harm to those people as they're trying to, ERTs are coming in, and you want to make sure that they're allowed to do their job as well. So after David sends me what needs to go out, I thoroughly edit it for clarity, grammar, spelling, which I do to everything. That's not just a David thing. It's important that our messaging is clear and accurate to those who need the communication. And it would just burn me up inside to know that out of a message that somebody's supposed to get, some community needs some food. And the thing that people remember most about that particular communication is that, somebody misspelled canned food. Like that would just burn me up if that was distracted away from the real messaging, which is we need help in this area. So at first, when I made any edits, I would send them back to David just so that he would know. But after working together for a while, I knew his messaging and writing style. He learned my editing style, and I know what minor edits he would approve. So I don't really have to. I don't feel like I have to send back for minor things because I know what things he's okay with. He knows what things I watch. If I had to look at what was successful, and these would be my best practices with communicating disaster responses, my third one would be don't cut corners and end up cutting the message. Even though it may only allow you 140 characters, don't change the intended message just to make it fit into a post, okay? If reducing your word or character count somehow alters the meaning of a message or even opens the door to possibility of a misinterpretation, don't risk it. Send your audience to a link with more information. My fourth best practice would probably be take close attention to the images you receive. It's great that people submit things and they want to, be a part of helping tell the story. But you have to ask yourself when you get there, could anything in this image misrepresent the conference, misrepresent them or core, misrepresent what is actually taking place in this image? Could anything in this image be indirectly offensive or insinuate something offensive to members of our audience? Could anything in this image paint someone in a false light? Could this image perpetuate a societal stereotype about a certain group, whether that be persons from low socioeconomic means, certain races, certain age groups, or victims of disaster in general? So you want to make sure you really analyze those images and make sure that they tell the story they need to tell. My fifth best practice would be communicate with sympathy and understanding, and this is key. Watch your language. Let's not identify anybody as the least of these because nobody wants to be the least of anything. Calling people the poor. And then the one that I probably loathed the most was the usage of the term refugee during the time of Hurricane Katrina. I lived in New Orleans when Katrina hit, and I left because of the hurricane. And I cannot tell you how awful it felt to know, I had pretty much, just lost everything and somebody's referring to me as a refugee. I was born in this country and I've got bigger things going on to worry about this kind of perception that people were perpetuating throughout the news. Because that's what people say, oh, you're a refugee. And it's just, let's be sensitive and communicate with sympathy and understanding. Six, I would say be fair and balanced in your communicating. Another instance that happened during Hurricane Katrina that you would see one group of people who would be taking bread and food water from a Walmart and they would be considered looting the store. And then you see another group of people who would be doing the same thing and they were classified as commandeering what they needed. You want to be fair and balanced and not let any group be above another. Finally, if I have to speak on what needs improvement, I do think we do a great job. We make a great team. Our communications go well. But as situations arise, you see a need for maybe preparation in the future if things happen again. I remember one instance was with the Columbia tornado, and this would be my last probably best practice. Make sure that whoever is doing the communicating has an alternative or an emergency source for internet. So when Columbia tornado hit, it was right around Christmas time, and our office was closed. So that's nobody thought anybody's gone on vacation. I was visiting my family, and I was far away from home, and the relatives that I was staying with didn't have a computer, much less internet. So So it was really difficult. I wanted to get the message out, but I didn't know, how I was going to find like a steady stream of internet access. So it did work out. We did get the messaging out, but in the future, I think it would be a great idea for us to have a MiFi spot that has unlimited data and that um, didn't have like a plan. You could just pay as you go. So if you don't need it next month, you don't have to pay for it. I think that would be ideal. A MiFi spot with unlimited data, but not on a plan and on a pay as you go. I know some people have iPhones and they have the ability to tether, but everybody doesn't have a 4S or greater of an update for iPhones, and then some people are still on unlimited plans and they can't use the tethering feature. So, then what do you do then? And then if you're asking someone to use the tethering feature on their iPhone, if they have all this, you're assuming that they have enough unused data to communicate everything that they need to get out, and that may not be so. So I think the best thing is to have that backup emergency source for internet, which would be a MiFi spot with a pay-as-you-go kind of thing. And that is my timer, so I've ended right on time. Um, I hope you all have enjoyed your stay in the hospitality state. I hope you had a great visit. I trust that your tea was sweet and your catfish was fried to perfection. Please visit us, like us on Facebook. We have a page at the Mississippi United Methodist Conference. You can also see youth events and things that we do with youth and families on MS, Youth and Families. And Bishop Swanson has a page, so like him as well at Bishop James B. Swanson Sr. And you can also follow us on Twitter at Mississippi_UMC. Be blessed. Bye. Sorry I couldn't be with you today because of inclement weather, but hey, I think it's fitting that the web and social media specialist visit you via webcam today. So be blessed and have safe travel. Bye.